It's that time again. Time to submit your Making Tax Digital for self-assessment in Xero. So starting on the dashboard screen, what we're going to do is go on over to our tax tab and click Making Tax Digital for income tax. And then once that's loaded, we're going to go on over to our income and expenses tab. And here, what we want to do is complete some check and file reviews. So what we mean by that is, for example, we would open up our turnover. We would just check what transactions have gone through our turnover category. And we want to make sure that they've all been allocated correctly. And if anything needs to be moved, we move it now. So under revenue, we can then click on this number, and then that will bring back our transactional data that's under revenue. Now, HMRC will not see all of these transactions. They will just see that one wrapped up number. But it's really important to make sure that you know that this number is correct and what makes up this number. So again, we'll go back to our Making Tax Digital for Income Tax tab. And then from here, we'll look at our income and expenses. So some really important areas to focus on. I would always check other business expenses and make sure this is as small as possible. So other business expenses, think of this as what we used to call general expenses, what we maybe would call sundry expenses. Now, from an accountant's perspective, sundry, we want to be as small as possible, because what this means is it's just bits and bobs. It doesn't really equate to anything. It's immaterial items. And for that reason, it's just, other stuff. And for that reason, we put it under the general expense. But if it's actually, it's only a bit of motor expenses, well, we've got a category for that. It's called car, van, and travel expenses. So again, have a think about what's under your other business expenses. Even have a look by clicking into it. And then compare that to this listing down here. If it doesn't feel like the item that you're looking at, the transaction, doesn't fit into these options, then maybe it is right to be under the other category. But if you ever have a question, don't forget you can reach out or speak to your accountant. Some other areas to focus on is your business entertainment costs. So if you ever have an item in business entertainment costs, this is not tax deductible. So you then need to make sure the same value that's in your total column is under your disallowable column as well. You won't be able to submit this HMRC without doing this. So just a really small thing to bear in mind. So they're just a quick few things to check. But again, it's basically the same thing. Have I got advertising costs under advertising costs? Have I got anything else that isn't advertising under advertising costs? Have a look through. You should only need to do this sort of analysis at the beginning, the first time you do your tax return, because once you understand where these account codes are going to, you will make sure that the transactions are coded to the correct account codes going forward. And so you won't have to do as much reviewing because you're making sure the bookkeeping is correct. So once we're happy with this, we then want to come on over and click this Send to HMRC button. And remember, if this button is grayed out, go on over to one of my other videos where I explain why this might be. So we've got a blue button, so perfect, we're ready to submit. So click Send to HMRC. Then we receive this pop-up. So what it is saying is select expense type. So HMRC requires expenses to be sent as either a single total figure or more detailed tax categories. So that's when we clicked into turnover and you had that detailed categories under turnover. That's what this means. So we can either say full expenses, so that is all expense categories are sent to HMRC, and that is recommended for any turnover amount. But you could also choose the simple expenses, which is when total expense amount will be sent to HMRC and only used if annual turnover will not exceed 90,000. So just things to bear in mind. So if your income is over 90,000, you will be a requirement from HMRC is to send the full expenses. So in this instance, we're going to say simple expenses and then click confirm. And then this says send an update to HMRC. So again, it's just saying, right, we're about to send it. Are you sure? So you're about to send this for this period. So my period is the 6th of April to the 5th of July. Once it's been sent, HMRC will perform a tax calculation, which will be available to view on your overview tab. So brilliant. We're going to already have an estimate tax position once we send this in. Brilliant. That's what we want. So let's send the update. We then have this pop-up down here saying it's been successful. So that's great. It means it's already gone in. We don't need to worry. But also now it says filed. And so again, those two checks, we just want to make sure, just in case it hasn't gone through for any reason. And then what the HMRC prompt was talking about is this tax report tab. So this should now, or should in a few maybe moments or maybe a couple of hours, have an update from HMRC. So do come back and in a couple of hours or maybe a few days and have a look at what information HMRC have given you now. I do hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow along for more helpful top tips from Burton's Academy. I'll see you at the next one.